About 5 minutes away from $1,000. Next keyword from the Buzzard bookie. So listen for that. Cavs basketball tonight. They're in New York to play the Knicks. I also have a new promo code for you for CLE Clothing Company. If you, there's only a couple of days remaining to use the promo code ERIE, E-R-I-E, like the lake. It's right over here. I don't know if you've ever checked it out, but, it's something. I'm sorry?
I've been meaning to.
You should.
Yeah, it's right
couple
out
of
my
blocks
window.
away.
All I have to do is look outside.
All you got to do is pull those blinds apart, and there it is.
I don't even have blinds. I just have to turn my head.
You don't want people peeping into your windows, do you?
Not really.
People with drones, Bill.
Yeah, peep away.
All right.
I have them for my bedroom. I just don't have them for my living room.
Yeah. Thursday, last day of the month. Halloween, of course, but come Friday, you're going to need a new promo code for 20% off at CLE Clothing Company.
Turkey.
No?
Not turkey.
Gobble.
You won't get it. How about if I tell you that?
Mary Santora's birthday. Woohoo!
Use promo code Mary Santora's birthday, all one word, for 20% off.
Election. Freedom.
Is it
Veteran.
Thanksgiving themed?
It
or
is sports
themed.
Football. Goalpost.
What is going to go away when the team goes to Brook Park?
Stadium?
The stadium's not going to go away. It'll still be there.
Commerce?
Muni lot.
Muni! M-U-N-I. Not to be confused with the great Scott Muni, who, of course, was a legend of New York radio for many years. Muni, as in municipal lot. I assume it's short for municipal. Come November, starting Friday, you can use the promo code MUNI, M-U-N-I, for 20% off at CLEclothingco.com.
You know what else is on Friday?
What else is on Friday? You're talking about this Friday.
This Friday.
November the 1st.
The audio album for We're Getting Famous, the special that I filmed last year at the Agora, is out this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pre-order right now.
The audio album.
Yes.
Feels redundant.
Yeah. Well, I'm just being very clear for everybody.
Wait, is it on vinyl?
We're doing a vinyl release.
Oh, that's great.
That's still coming later. That's all. But it's going to be available wherever you get your music. iHeartRadio app.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, on there.
It's going to be on the iHeartRadio app?
Yeah.
Now, like it is with this show, will it be interrupted by poorly timed commercials?
I sure hope not.
Oh, boy. Right when you're giving your punchline, right when you're driving it home to the end there.
Yeah. But you can
they'll
pre-order
cut
it
in
now.
with something.
You can pre-order now. If you go to billsquire.com, I got a link up there, or you can go to my Instagram. There's a link on my bio. So pre-order. It's such a good album. It's so fun. So please do that.
We have a new contender for worst national anthem.
Uh-oh.
You might remember the ones that we've played in the past. I love playing the guy who can't remember. He just keeps talking about the rockets and the bombs and the thing.
Everything's there.
Yep, everything's there.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars were so gallantly there, as though rockets were there, and the twilight's last gleaming, and the rocket's red glare were so gallantly there, burst stripes were all there, and the rockets were there.
Mm-hmm. Never stop, never stopping. That's his motto. Listen, somebody might look at a flag and go, hey, where'd the stripes go? He wants you to learn. The stripes are still there.
They were there.
A singer named Loomis went viral after singing the national anthem at the, get this, presidential debate for third-party candidates.
Hell yeah.
I don't know who those are. RFK Jr. is out.
Jill Stein?
Yeah, Jill Stein. Her own family wants her to drop out. These third-party candidates are all running to get Trump elected, so they're all spoiler candidates. But I didn't even know they were doing you want to talk about something ineffectual. Anyway, Loomis went off the rails. I obviously can't play you the unedited version. Dropped a bunch of F-bombs. I think maybe she had a brain fart and didn't realize she was live.
Like America F, yeah?
And was thinking that the bombs bursting in air part is what jammed her up. But I think she wanted to do it over, and they're like, we're live right now. We can't do this over.
Who's brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Can I go back? Can I go back, please?
We're live.
I got too nervous.
I don't know how this is making the rounds at all, because I can't imagine anybody watched this. So,
The night that our flag was still there. Whoa, say does that star spangled for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I mean, I can't tell if she's a good singer or not. She's doing a lot of runs, but I can't tell if she's a good singer.
Like, why? It's the national anthem. You don't got to do that much.
Well,
to
but
it.
everybody does.
But why?
Because the template is there. You either do, and the stripes were all there, or you do. Everybody thinks they're Patti LaBelle, right? I mean, but again, she might be a great singer. I've never heard of her. That doesn't mean anything, but I've never heard of her before. But I can't tell if she's a good singer. And that's really, when you get in your own head with the anthem, that really jams you up.
Yeah.
Right? Because all you're thinking is, don't screw it up, don't screw it up. Boom. Can I start over? We're live.
Yeah.
They literally should have said to her, yes, feel free to start over.
go ahead.
I don't know where this is being broadcast. I don't know if this is on YouTube.
We got nothing going on.
I don't know
Go
what
ahead.
this is. Yeah. She issued an apology, of course. She said, I promise I'm a good singer. She's cute. She's younger than she sounds. To me, she sounded older. She sounded like, a singer in their mid-50s or, but she's young. A lot of people might be hip to Loomis. I might not be on board with this, but I had never. I was not familiar with her. But she wanted everybody to know that she is a good singer. And here she
You're
is.
going obviously insanely viral on the internet for your C-SPAN national anthem. What happened?
Girl, so let me start out by saying I am the daughter of a veteran. So, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't want to mess up the national anthem.
Is this how you got the gig, or how'd you get the gig?
No, because I really do sing, and I'm really a good singer, I promise you. So what happened?
Okay, anyway, I don't know where they found her, but she wants everybody to know that she really is a good singer.
Sometimes you biff it, man.
Sometimes you do. Yeah. She said she wasn't thinking clearly because she was so nervous. And who can't identify with that?
I mean,
It's the scariest thing to happen to me since I was a little girl. Well, it didn't happen to you. It's like she was
happened
walking.
to it.
Yeah, she was walking down the street and the national anthem fell on her.
Gallantly streaming, and the rockets
Too much.
Can I go back? Can I go back, please?
Too much.
Bomb bursting, and I got too nervous.
Oh, anywho, best of luck to Loomis. She's fantastic. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me, Donald Trump had a white power rally at Madison Square Garden, and Tony Hinchcliffe performed. And Tony Hinchcliffe, he's been on this show before a couple of times over the years, and a lot of people like Tony Hinchcliffe. He does a podcast called Kill Tony. Mary tried to get on the podcast. She waited in line to get on. Hours in line because he did his show at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, sold
like
out
multiple
2 nights,
nights, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sold
And-
out 2 nights.
Yeah.
Right. But most people don't know who Tony Hinchcliffe is.
Like general public.
A lot of these guys that are in kind of like the Rogan verse or they have their own podcasts or whatever.
It's just like music now, too, where people can have so many fans, but you've never heard it because everything's so fragmented now.
So he made a bunch of jokes. If you've watched the full thing, it's only about 12 minutes, and everybody's dunking on Tony Hinchcliffe. I think it's funny. Not him. I don't find his brand of humor funny. It's not for me. It is for a lot of people. But the whole thing to me is funny because he put himself out there. He's like, oh, I'm sure. Because listen, Trump did Rogan last week. There was probably some conversation, and Rogan, he was like, I need a guy for my rally. And Rogan was probably like, talk to Tony Hinchcliffe. Or maybe he threw a couple of names at him. I don't know. It's hard to know anymore what deserves genuine outrage, right? Or righteous anger. I don't know that comedy ever does. He's a comedian. And his mantra is never apologize for a joke. Never, ever apologize for a joke. And so he made the jokes he wanted to make. And he was getting some groans from people. I mean, that's a full-on MAGA crowd.
But here's my point is like, yes, you are a comedian. You were not hired to do a set.
Well, wasn't he?
I assume.
What
he was
the hell
hired
else
to
would they
give
bring
a
Tony
speech
Hinchcliffe in? About what? He's a comedian.
About
I guarantee Trump
supporting
didn't.
Trump.
But I don't know that he does.
Okay.
This is what everybody's tacking onto him. Now, it's a dangerous game because now all these people, what are all the, he's trending, but what are all the articles? Who the hell is Tony? Well, but who the hell is Tony Hinchcliffe?
I shared the one from Rolling Stone where he has comedian in quotes. That made me laugh very
But
hard.
he's a legit comedian.
I know, but it just made me laugh that that's what they went with.
Right. I'll play a couple of clips here.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
Right. Now, of course, the Trump campaign has come out and said that they do not condone that joke. There was this woman with the campaign who was on one of these cable channels. And she goes, I think everyone there knows that humor doesn't represent Donald Trump. Are you?
We're more specific and more racist.
Yeah. Not every Trumper's a Nazi, but if you are a Nazi, he seems to be your guy. That seems to be who you're going for. Although, if you remember...
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We love Puerto Rico.
Right. Breathless with love for Puerto Rico. So... I don't know. I started out one way on this, and I'm kind of another way on this now. If you're Tony Hinchcliffe, there's no
downside.
There's no downside. Everybody's talking about you. Because listen, I know it's a different time, and it really is, and things change. But this used to be Rickles and Carlin and people that they weren't doing it at political rallies. That's a whole thing. This is a political rally. So making jokes like that in a club, that's very different than this.
I guess that's my point, is that, like, I've been hired to speak at events before.
But there was no way they hired him to give a political speech.
Well, hold on. This is what I'm saying, is that I have been very clear in my questions where I say, do you want me to speak on your cause or do you want me to tell jokes?
Right.
And you have to specifically ask that because they're like, 90% of the time, they're like, we just want you to speak. If you throw in a joke here and there, that's cool, but we don't really want you to go up there and just do jokes.
But what is the point of having a
It's a name. Here's you want to hear my thought on it? I'm going to tell you anyway.
What do you mean a name?
So Trump, shut up.
Well, no, because Tony Hinchcliffe is not a name. Not to those people. Not to those people.
That's the whole point.
I'm
He's
sure
not going to bring in somebody that his people already know. Trump's whole campaign for the last month has been 100% appealing to young straight white males. That's why he's doing Joe Rogan and Theo Von and Andrew Schultz.
Understood.
And Kill Tony.
Right.
Like, these are all 18 to 25-year-old impressionable
the bros
men who can be radicalized.
And guys, by the way, that I'm sure his kid told him about them.
Well,
It's not like
even
Trump
this-
knows who these guys are.
My point is that he's not necessarily caring what he already has the MAGA people.
Right.
So just by Tony Hinchcliffe being there, now he has the 13 million views per episode when Tony reposts this. It's going out to his absolute specific demographic. That's why he chose Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah. Yeah, but there have to be, I'm sure there were a lot of Kill Tony fans in that crowd, but there have to be Kill Tony fans who are not Trumpers.
There's a lot that aren't.
So, but again, if you're an opportunist, and you kind of should be in showbiz, you go, this is a huge crowd.
Yes.
Why wouldn't I do this? And I watched the whole thing, and I know everybody's writing their think pieces on it today, and some of it I agree with. And again, for me, it comes down to that's not my brand of comedy. But I understand why people think it's funny. Here, I'll play another clip here.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies, too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor.
Right, so he's kind of making fun of them, and he's also, there's a lot of...
such a weird thing.
It is weird, but that's why I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, two things can be true, right? Seeing liberals get mad over jokes is annoying. Mary's talked about this.
Yes.
And if you see it a lot. She's doing like death stuff about her dad, and there's like kids in Brooklyn that are getting a bag on their face, right?
Right.
So that can be true, but Trump is also a racist and a fascist and a traitor. So those two things can be true. Tony Hinchcliffe has money. He can say whatever he wants to say.
It's not going to affect him at all.
It's not going to. And
He's
now
going to have the
everybody's
highest
talking about
episode
it.
of Kill Tony this week ever.
Right.
So I was talking about this with a few comics at New York Comedy Club, which is Andrew Schultz's home club. And I was saying how I was annoyed that all of these male podcasters are having Trump on, and they're not necessarily putting their support behind him. But I was like, does it not click in their brain how much influence they have? That the predominantly male audiences, that they want to do what Andrew Schultz or Tony Hinchcliffe or Joe Rogan thinks is cool. And if they think Trump is cool, now all those guys are going to think Trump is cool. Regardless of if you agree with that or not, I really do believe that that's the
And
case.
I get that complaint on the part of people. But A, people made their minds up a long time ago. B, that crowd already likes Trump. They want to hear him go goofy. Rogan got the most views and listens ever in his show. And that's a lot with Trump, right? I think he's going to have Kamala Harris, too. He's extended the invitation to both of them. I think she has said she's going to do Joe Rogan. But if you're a guy with a podcast, your only thing is, I got to up my numbers. I want the most people listening and watching. That's your only...
That's the counterpart, is that, like, I don't really give a crap how this affects the election. I'm going to make so much money on this. I'm going to make so many downloads, and I'm going to reach a brand new audience. I understand it.
But I
still feel like it's dangerous.
Well, but they also get to laugh in Trump's face, too, which they have been doing. I don't think Tony Hinchcliffe is a MAGA comedian.
He's super rich.
Yeah.
I mean, financially, he's probably pretty Republican, and he lives in Austin, and he brings people on his podcast with mental, disabilities to make fun of them.
Right, but nobody's forcing anyone to listen to the Kill Tony podcast. Nobody's forcing anybody to do anything, right? And if your stated mantra is never apologize for a joke, then the audience knows where they are. So it's not like this guy is hanging out with Owen Benjamin all the time, or guys that are fully in the tank. And I'm sure there are a lot of comics who feel like, listen, we're liberals. I'm a liberal, but there's a lot of people on the left
libtard.
Libtard. Yeah. who get really bent out of shape. And if you're a comic who wants to say anything, you don't want to be in front of the crowd that's going to get a scowl if you say the wrong thing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I fully understand that. I
so
just think it's dangerous.
If you're a comedian, there's genetic pushback to what people don't want you to say.
Here, I've been doing comedy for 20 years. I've made people upset I've made liberals upset. I've made Republicans upset because everybody's got the line that if you cross it, they're going to be like, well, that you can't joke about that. And everybody has that. So, and to say like one group's more sensitive than the other is, in my opinion, insane. It depends on what the subject. It depends on the subject. It depends on the subject matter.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
You can't. I can fully, wholeheartedly say that I have a better time performing in front of Republicans than I do in front of liberals.
I can
fully say that because who is more likely to get offended? 100%
liberal.
That's my point with Tony Hinchcliffe.
No, but
He's
it
like,
depends.
I don't want to.
It depends on the subject matter.
I don't agree.
If you're making jokes about religion, if you're making jokes about trans people, on a positive side where you're not bashing trans people, that makes them very uncomfortable and very offended because they feel like stupid.
I don't agree. I mean, maybe that's your experience.
And that's what I'm telling you is I'm giving you that experience. I'm telling you from my experience, I've seen Republicans be just as offended, if not more offended, by things because as soon as you go into a topic they don't want to hear about or they don't want to change their mind about, they are immediately I can't deal with that.
Okay, which side is canceling people? Which side?
No
is
one.
Coming,
no one's canceling anybody.
Who started it? Who
what
came
side
after
wants
people
to cancel
and said,
people?
Take away their job, take away their livelihood, take away their kids. I want this person because of a joke that they made. Take away everything that they have.
Republicans have been doing that for as long. Yes, it is.
With comedy.
It's with comedy. Yes, because as soon as somebody makes a joke, they go, "We're going to boycott them." They do the boycotts all the time.
But that's not what liberals are doing. Liberals are like finding out where people work, sending emails to bosses, calling parents and loved ones. Like I am so far on the other side.
There is a hive mind among liberals.
There is, but I'm saying I've seen it just as much from Republicans.
Also,
I don't think that's a true
guarantee you a lot of people at Madison Square Garden don't know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States, by the way. I mean, so there's all these think pieces.
We got to do something about that.
I got to go to a break here, but there's all these think pieces being written about like, well, Puerto Rico and like, okay, they have no electoral power, but there are lots of Puerto Rican voters in swing states, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say is that New York has a huge Puerto Rican
and
population.
Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin. There's a lot of states with Puerto Rican voters. And now I don't know that they're all going to be upset. Plenty of them that probably don't care at all. But it's a weird, that's why the Trump people are like, oh, we don't like that. Well, you don't care. You're just putting your finger to the wind. Anyway, I thought it was pretty wild. But the full thing that he did, because he's the one getting all the press.
I know we're late. Go ahead. Never mind.
John Brown.
I forgot to do the money again, so I got to do the money and I got to go to a break.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now at WMMS.com. The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. This football season, bet with house money with the Buzzard Bookie. You have 9 chances a day to win $1,000. Fill your account and parlay game day away. Keywords come at 30 past the hour, every weekday, starting at 9:30 with Rover. If Cleveland's getting 2.5, you could be getting 1,000 with the Buzzard Bookie on 100.7 WMMS. Sponsored by Howard's Jewelry Center.
Hey Cleveland, it's Hallie from Howard's Jewelry Center, where your gold is worth more. Turn your old or unwanted pieces into cash on the spot with no strings attached. Find us in Bedford Heights, Parma Heights, Mentor inside Great Lakes Mall, and at howardsjewelrycenter.com. Howard's Jewelry Center, so much more than a jewelry store.
Your afternoon drive is brought to you by the Ken Ganley Auto Group. Shop over 10,000 vehicles online at KenGanleyAuto.com.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best